Hello, today we're going to look at the case of Khorram and Capgemini, and it's a case of disability discrimination, failure to make reasonable adjustments and harassment relating to a disability. So let's get into it. A woman with ADHD has partially succeeded in her claim against her employer Capgemini on the basis that they failed to make reasonable adjustments. Other aspects of her claim, which included harassment relating to a disability, have failed. She was a former executive with the IT company and had over 25 years industry experience. The Central London Employment Tribunal heard that her role at Capgemini was a pre-sales lead in cloud infrastructure, a service unit that worked within Capgemini. The role attracted a £120,000 salary, it was a senior role, and she started work for the firm in June 2023, but she was dismissed in February 2024 after a series of probationary meetings. The tribunal was told that her ADHD could affect her performance when tasks or objectives were ambiguous, as she tended to overcomplicate them, and she felt pressured. During her probation, initially set for 6 months, Khorram was set a number of tasks with tight deadlines that required her to multitask. She was due to make a presentation on September the 5th, 2023, and she emailed her line manager, a guy called Steve Baldwin, at 2 a.m. the night before to ask for a number of the topics to be reduced or for it to be postponed. At 7:30 a.m, Mr. Baldwin responded that she should just give an overview of the topics. However, following morning, she cancelled the meeting, and Baldwin said in an email that this gives the impression that it has not been treated seriously and or managed properly. She then told Baldwin of her ADHD diagnosis, and in a probationary review meeting, she said that she was on medication that was causing her difficulties at work. The assessor sent her to an occupational health assessment, and the assessor sent a list of potential adjustments which could include a 1 or 3 hour ADHD awareness training session for up to 15 people for her colleagues and her managers, so that they could understand how they could help her in her work. The sessions were aimed to provide practical knowledge and skills to create an inclusive and supportive workplace environment for any individual with neurodivergent conditions. The next month after this, she proposed in an email to Baldwin, her manager, that she attend the How to Manage ADHD training with her, to which he did not respond. She then took 2 weeks sick leave, 1 week's holiday, so 3 weeks in total, and started to make inquiries about changing roles at the company. In January, Ms. Khorram notified a HR manager of her intention to pursue a grievance. Her probationary period was extended until the end of the month. The following week, Ms. Khorram attended an ADHD counselling session. This is the lady with ADHD, not someone who really needs to know about ADHD, on the 16th of January, and she made a presentation which garnered negative feedback at work afterwards. A further presentation that she made on the 23rd of January, business-related presentation, was received more favourably. Khorram raised a formal grievance on the 30th of January in which she stated that there was a palpable tension between herself and her line manager right from the beginning, and it characterised an intimidating demeanour and evident lack of confidence in her capability. In an email exchange at the time, the HR manager tried to provide some reassurance about the probationary meeting that was scheduled for the end of the month, and she wrote that there would be breaks and she could have someone who was there to support her. Further writing, "I recognise that you have shared you are struggling with your mental health," words that Ms. Khorram took offence to and would later raise as part of her disability harassment complaint. Khorram didn't attend the January meeting, and it went ahead in her absence, and she was dismissed because of ongoing concerns about her performance. So instead of supporting her, they dismissed her. The tribunal found that the company's failure to take up the occupational health recommendation for ADHD training for the staff was a failure to make reasonable adjustments, and she won. That's a lesson for all employers and anyone who's suffering from a mental health condition and their employer is failing to make reasonable adjustments for them. If you need help, reach out to us at employmenttribunalclaimshub.com.